That's funny. I said being the creator and then you're
All right, welcome everyone. Good to be here with each one of you. Let us know when you're on the live with us. Say hello. My name is Richard D. Chambers.
And I am Jessica Rosalie.
We're from Star Seeds Changing the World.
Yeah, let us know in the comments where you are anchoring in from. Say hi. We'd love to hear from you. Drop your favorite emoji. I'm always looking for new favorite emojis. So
Also, yeah, let us know how you're doing, how your day's going.
yeah, one of our appointments canceled today and we had this door open and we're like, what should we do?
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? Let's go live on YouTube and say hello to everyone. So we're really excited to be here, 2:22 p.m. here in Canada as I look at the clock.
So I think to open up, we're just going to take a moment and we'll do a little quick space setting for all of you to help everyone come into their hearts. So I'm going to invite you to just place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, find your heartbeat, and breathe into the heart. Breathe out through the heart. Breathe in. Send all of that love and all of that light down through your body, beyond the crystalline grids, the diamond grids, all the way down into the diamond core of Mother Gaia. And really grounding in this moment and now time. And Mother receives that love and blessings, and she sends that back to you now as it comes all the way up, opening up your feet chakras, coming up through the body, the knees, the hips, and into the center of the heart, where you breathe in again. And on the out breath, you send this love and this light all the way up through your crown, beyond the earth atmosphere, beyond the galaxy, beyond the universe, and into the highest original God source realms of creation, into the source of all light. As we open God's pillar of light around you here and now, God's temple of light around you here and now. And we bring that diamond earth temple up from the diamond core around you here and now. As we open our temple of Hyros Gamos, our holy sacred sanctum for unity consciousness, and our heaven on earth temple space. Now, as we open the sacred directions of north, south, east, west, earth, sky, and heart, sealing into oneness and wholeness, we flood this entire space with the purity of the triple solar fire of beautiful magenta, gold, and aquamarine, diamond, crystalline, plasma fire, gritting through all places and spaces and connecting into the directions and corners to create the sacred container of light today. As we release from the field in space any energies, frequencies, misqualified vibrations, any hooks, cords, tethers, ribbons, As we return it all to its original point of origin now, we just set the intent to maximize our time together that we're spending today on this live, that all that's truly meant to be shared is shared and received with peace and love and joy and excitement, and that everyone receives the supporting codes to help them on their journey today. Mm.
I would just like to add this beautiful crystalline diamond pink grounding cord. Just seeing that coming through from your highest self, down your spine, down past your tailbone, through your feet, and seeing that crystalline pink grounding cord, bringing you all the way and connecting you into the crystalline core of Mother Earth, where we connect with the diamond crystalline crystal that is held there to amplify the frequencies and the harmonic resonance of our space here today, as we also send our love to Mother Earth, as we greet her warmly within our hearts, and we send our blessings and our gratitude to her, as she also sends her blessings and her gratitude up through the grounding cord into your heart, opening and flowering that beautiful center, that beautiful heart light, that beautiful energy that connects you to the oneness of all of creation, that reminds you that you are nature. You are one with her. You are one with the planets and all of her living creatures, great and small. And just seeing within your mind's eye all of her creatures, all of her animal kingdoms, all of those beautiful sacred elementals, and all of those tree people and stone people, and all of her creatures just gathering to hold this space today. And they're all here for it. And just greeting them as well and sending your love to all of nature. Just feeling that beautiful sacred space that is here, holding our conversation here today, so that we can truly come together as one family and really feel that loving support. And just know, whatever you are moving through in your life right now, that you can take this a moment to just breathe and receive that fresh air, that moment of reprieve from whatever you're moving through. Feeling that support and that connection and all of the energies that are here within our beautiful space here today to really support and harmonize your field, your heart space, and to bring in the oneness and the balance with all in your day today. And so it is, so it is.
Just breathing all of that goodness in, getting some more of that. Before we dive into everything with you today, first of all, we love you, and it's nice to see you all on the live. We see some familiar faces there as well, and thank you for all of the love you're sharing about our new setup. Now, I wanted to let our community know that right now we have launched our clairvoyant healers training and psychic development certification program, which really takes you through learning how to use your clairvoyant abilities for healing and how to hold one-to-one sessions, how to practice on yourself, how to practice with others, and how to develop your confidence in being a clairvoyant or a psychic healer. So we have that right now. I'm going to post the link. I think the next few people who come in can receive $111 off that program. I'm not sure how many of those are left. We did say the first 10 people. I know some of those are definitely gone though. So if you are interested in that, you will have to act quickly to be able to get access to that. That being said, this program is amazing, and 1 or 2 client sessions would pay for that program. So it's just creating abundance and developing your skill set in your life as well. Tools that have taken me over 15 years to really like put together and use as well. So I know you'll enjoy it. All right. While Rosalie's chatting, I'm going to put that link in the chat for all of you right now.
So beautiful. So grateful to be here, beloveds. I know it's been a little while since we've hopped on here and said hello. And a lot has changed since we've spoken last, I feel, for us and for many of you. We're in such an incredible time of change within our internal worlds and how that is manifesting into our external. So I feel that this is such a powerful time to come together and just really sit in this oneness, in this field of divine love and connection, because we're all really here to experience this together. We are all here to really experience this growth and evolution of the planet. And I felt her energy come in so strongly today, just all of the beauty that is on this planet, all of the nature, the animal kingdoms, the earth kingdoms, the elementals, the fae, they're all here. They just came ushering in as soon as we went live with you all. And I think the message that has been coming through so strongly is for us to connect to nature and to really take that time to connect. I know a few of you mentioned you're feeling a little, lost right now, or maybe disconnected or, destabilized, whatever it is. And the beautiful earth kingdoms and elemental kingdoms are really calling you to make that conscious connection with them, to really invite them in to support you. And I think that really the deepest source of unhappiness in our lives really does come from this deep feeling of disconnection that we have from the planet, from the earth, because she really is our source of energy and nourishment. When I brought in that grounding cord today, that grounding cord, you could really look at it like an umbilicus. That is really your connection into the mother. And so many of us have not really given ourselves the opportunity to deeply connect to her. Whether it's been because we just haven't had the time because we're busy, or because, we've been just feeling distracted or in a state of fight or flight. So many of us within society operate within that fight or flight response where our nervous system is constantly overloaded. We are constantly being bombarded and overstimulated, and we are in this, duality, fight or flight consciousness. And so one of the things that I really recognize is the healing ability that the planet has to really help our nervous system come back into a deeper resonance and alignment so that we can be more in balance, harmony, and flow with our 4-body system, mind, body, spirit, and the physical connection that we share with the planet really supports that. This is the circadian rhythm that we're speaking of. And with this equinox energy that we're moving through, it has really been calling us, beckoning us, asking us to hold ceremony with her. So if you haven't had the opportunity yet to really commune with the planet and sit with her energies and really connect yourself in with love and kindness, I really would recommend that, because this is really what is going to help support us move through these energy waves. Without that grounded connection to the planet and to the mother, we are going to get swept up. We are going to be like that umbrella at the beach that we didn't anchor down. So this is what the message is coming in so strongly, is that we really do need those firm roots right now. And it will support you in being able to grow and become the stronger version of you that is being asked. Because many of us are being tested right now on our inner strength and how we are going to move through certain challenges or initiations in our lives. And I always know when I feel overwhelmed and I feel I'm incapable and I can't possibly do it, and I don't feel supported, it is because I'm not fully connecting into Mother, to the planet, to my body, to allow for that stability and that stabilizing support to really hold me. And the mother planet, like Earth, is really letting us all know that we're in this together. We really can't do this without her, just like she can't do this without us. So the more that we can create that relationship, to nurture that relationship with the planet and all of her living creatures, it will only serve you to really support you in your mission.
Yeah, the Mother Earth has been putting out the call to her children, and she's asking her children to remember themselves, to remember how much of a creator you are. Just like her, Mother Earth or Gaia is a level of master creator consciousness, and you are too. And so she's asking you to find that within yourself again, because this time of change or evolution or ascension that we're moving through is about stepping into the creator consciousness within you, remembering who you are and this sacred connection you have with the planet, because you're here having your earth experience as a divine or celestial being that is meant to really integrate that creator consciousness into the earth consciousness. And together, through the planet and through ourselves, we are having this creator awakening on the planet. So where you are starting to step out of the shadows and the under the umbrellas of other people to really be your unique soul frequency, or that creator code that is in your Akashic records, or that's within your soul agreements to bring forward on the planet at this time. So there are many of us that are fully stepping into that now and bringing forward with that the consciousness, wisdom, and positive imprinting that unfolds through that level of authenticity. So authenticity is what is being called forward through your soul blueprints to activate the level of creator within you. And through that remembrance of who you are, your connection is able to connect deeper into the planet and into Mother, and see how you're both creators having this experience that are meant to be intertwined, interconnected, and interweaved to weave this tapestry together, which is also through the cosmos. It's through all of the quantum realms, but really it's being anchored into this point here right now. And that's where the focus is for each one of us, to go into this level of graduation, to leave the comfort of the parental systems or the man-made systems that have been built here, which has offered a level of safety zones for humanity. But we also know these systems aren't serving the creator level of awakening that's unfolding on the planet. So for all of these things to come forward and into fruition, it really comes back to, are you being a creator, and what are you creating at this time? The more you are able to step into your creational pathway, you are having a higher frequency impact for the changes on the planet. Each one of you are your own unique being that's having their unique experience. And the more you're able to come into the self-realization of that ingenuity, you're going to spark something in everyone that is around you and leave an everlasting impact on the world. So this shift that we're coming into is really about that self-realization. Time to step out of the shadows of other people, and it's time for you to be you, to be 100% you in your authenticness and your creatorness.
That is so beautiful and so in an alignment with just what I'm feeling with this deep, like planetary consciousness energy that's just coming into this space, because it's like the earth is initiating us as well to recognize that we are not separate from her. We are not separate from the creation. And so when we realize that as creators, and we also recognize the ways that we harm her, therefore ourselves, through our creations. So this is the level of creational responsibility that we are being asked to really take accountability for, right? Because when Richard said, these systems and the ways that we have in place, how they're not serving us, well, we can see why they're not serving us because of how they operate. They're not completely in integrity with the planet. They're not in alignment with the number one, rule of the law of one, do no harm. So when we remember that, right, I am here to consciously create, I am the creator, then you acknowledge that I am also the creation. I am the connection to all of it. I am the one. So when we are operating within our lives, we really need to remember how we are impacting every aspect of our creation and every aspect of ourselves through our creations.
I also want to say, like, you start to ask yourself the questions, what am I creating? So am I creating, like Rosalie said, my own creations, or am I creating somebody else's creation? Because if I'm doing someone else's creation, that creation at the very best would be as good as theirs. But if I'm doing my own creation and I'm in my own creator matrix, that's part of the bigger creator consciousness matrix. Now you have like an infinite like potential for that spark of consciousness to like ripple through all of time and space. So it's beyond even like this realm. It starts to now, we were saying like quantum entanglement, like it will make an impact here while changing something simultaneously, like beyond this universe, beyond the system, in the quantum, in the higher planes. Like it will have that kind of an impact, which is something that is hard for people to fully understand at times. Like by you being your true authentic self, it's really your highest frequency and vibration. So to consciously create and to understand the level of impact that your creations is having is really what we're speaking on.
One of the messages that was coming through this morning actually was about the stories, about the narrative, about our creations starting as thoughts, starting as stories or ideas, and how the more people agree with those thought forms and those ideas and those stories, the more that it is created through them. And so when you think about what we believe as a human race, or what we think about, or what we've just accepted, a lot of these ideas and stories and concepts and ways of being have really been given to us by others, by society, by the governments, by institutions, by your parents, right? Think of how much we have just taken on these ideas and creations that aren't even ours, right? Because, we as, souls that come into this experience, we grow up in our environment, and we don't begin as creators necessarily or consciously, because we are learning so much from being a part of the family, or being a part of, the education system, or a part of the culture that you grew up in. So all of these ideas and creations are really not yours on the soul level, right? They were given to you. So there comes a point in our journey where we really have to reevaluate what is truly ours and what is truly in resonance with us, and what we've just accepted, what has just been given to us as someone else's dream or someone else's creation or idea or thought about us. There's so much that is stored within the subconscious, connected to our belief systems. And this is just something that comes up on a regular for us to really be aware of as being conscious creators. We have to evaluate what we believe and what we believe to be true, because what is true for you creates that reality, right? Because you as the creator are reinforcing it. So especially when there's a group consciousness, a large, amount of people who are feeding into that creation, that story, because we're all just storytellers, aren't we? Aren't we all just, allowing these ideas to come into the world, to be created into form through our actions and our behaviors? So when we are unhappy, when we are feeling miserable or disconnected or all of these things, what story are we running that is contributing to that experience? Is it the belief that life is hard, that you don't truly get what you want, that the world is out to get you? Whatever it is, whatever story, you're connected into that group consciousness of people who are believing that is their reality. And we have many different groups of consciousness on this planet that are playing in their own realities and are living out those experiences, and they're all real because as creators, we created them. So when we create from our pain and our wounds and our shadow, then our creations will be of that resonance, of that consciousness. So then what is our role as light workers? To recognize the shadow and to, from the shadow, transmute it, alchemize it into light, to bring forward the energy of the creation that we want to bring into the planet, whether that be through your oracle deck or through your writing or through your singing, through your expression. So this is the level of creator ability that we have here on this planet. This is why we have a physical body. If we just wanted to, really observe and watch this all happen, we would stay, up in the higher realms and we would witness it. But we each have this beautiful gift that you don't want to waste by passively playing the game, when you can actively become the creator and create something into this world that has the energy, vibration, and frequency that we are wanting to really usher into the planet to build heaven on earth. And it has to come from that frequency, that vibration, that energy, in order to hold that seed. So when we create from our fears, we get that energy is moved into our creations. So really, it's such a beautiful opportunity for us to really learn how to master this, how to master our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, like how we create things and what belief systems that we adopt that aren't serving us, because those will be part of our creations too.
Yeah, I was just making that sound because it was such a beautiful share, Rosalie. Also, that we have to understand why it is that we believe certain things, or why we've taken those things on as like our own truth, where maybe it never was. So how do we end up taking on, ideologies, belief systems, and then these paradigms that shape our reality in the way like we view it and the way we behave within that reality and how it manifests. So through society and through our environments and who you spend your time with, through all of those things, it starts to impact the way you think and what you believe as well.
Mhm.
So this is why it's important for us to evaluate our paradigms, which are the beliefs that are controlling your reality, to make sure they are authentically yours and not ones that have been imprinted or taken on that are not yours, because then that means, well, one, your soul will be guiding you through whatever it is you're going through right now for a reason. But when you do come to the realization of letting go all of these things, you start to release anything that's not yours and anything you really want to hold on to. I encourage you to let that go as well, because those are the tower moments, the ego deaths that really test the waters of your reality. Some of us are not always ready to let go of the reality that we're in and to come into the next consciousness or harmonic vibrational like increase, because we're clinging to certain ideologies that may have come from others as opposed from our own soul wisdom.
Mm.
So the identities, the personalities, the beliefs, the paradigms, all of them are always up for questioning, for curiosity, to explore and to wonder about the infinite awareness that is on the other side of those, that's behind those, that consciousness that's behind that. Because when you start to tap into that level of creator consciousness and you let go of all of these layers, there's something ancient that starts to awaken, and then you realize there's a whole other game that is ready to be played, and it's the creator game, where you can play through, by, and with the spiritual laws, like God's laws or Source's laws, but not just in understanding them, actually living them out here on the planet. This is what Mother Earth is asking, and it sounds very complicated, but it's also very simple, because there is so much that you're holding on to, or that, whether it's knowledge, whether it's information, whether it's what you think about this person or that person, or, these situations, what you think is right and what you think is wrong, like all of that just needs to start be letting go, so you can come down into the nakedness of your truth.
Mm.
Truth can be scary, but it sets you free. And freedom starts with your mind being free, your heart being free, and your soul being free. And there's only one person who has the key for that, and that's you. You are the one to go and unlock the inner channels, to awaken that primordial nature of creation that's within you. And that is what we're talking about in creator consciousness, because that part of you is dialed into the planet.
Mm.
That part of you knows it came into the earth and it birthed through the earth. And she is a mother that's here supporting us at this time. We're all brothers and sisters of that same point. And that creator consciousness that's behind that is also behind Mother Earth, is also behind the cosmos and the universe. So this is a whole other exponential or infinite like potential to be opening to. And it's beautiful. And this is where we're encouraging or invoking or tickling you to bring that level of curiosity within yourself, to see where you have been limiting yourself. Whose rules are you playing by? If you're in spiritual communities and groups, religions, you're playing and operating within a certain set of rules. So are those set of rules or beliefs serving your highest? If they are, great. If they're not, and they're not actually yours, then we encourage you to look within What happens if you let it go? What happens if you challenge yourself to go through those tower moments in your life, to go through those doubt cycles, hopefully not circles or loops, but there's something really freeing and liberating, and it's here for all of us right now.
There is something that recently came into my awareness about the power that symbols holds in symbology, and how, for me, the triangle has always been something that has been such a powerful symbol for me in my awakening, in my doodling, just always feeling drawn to the triangle energy, which I feel represents many things like the Trinity, mother, father, child. There is so much held within the number 3. And I recently learned about, the equilateral triangle, and how the equilateral triangle is really powerful because each side is the same length. And so what makes it the most strongest structure in all of the geometries, why they use it in so many different structures and building things, is because of the ability for that triangle. It can't be broken by outside forces because it actually draws its strength from within. And I just love that because it reminds us of ourselves, because it reminds us that when we are in resonance with their internal world and we have that that connection to our spirit, that connection to the source within, and we know ourselves, then we can draw our strength within, and we can, surpass any challenge that is tried to be imposed upon us. It is only when we, look outside of ourselves for strength, or when we don't recognize the power that we hold within, that we, crumble under this pressure. So I feel the symbology that came in yesterday reminding me of the strength of that, that Trinity, that triangle, that equilateral triangle, is very much that reminder that we can be like that when we connect and source our strength from within, when we rely within our own soul vibration to draw upon that strength to support us in accessing that soul wisdom and the truth vibration. And so this is really where our source of wisdom should come from. Because when we're taking on something that is externally given to us, it hasn't come from your own source. So it's someone else's creation. So when you really stand in your sovereignty, you really stand in your power, you recognize all of the ways that you've actually given your power away by accepting what others have said about you. And a lot of it happened as a child. Those things that people say, those comments, oh, you'll never be good at that. You don't have a voice to be a singer. And that sticks with you. You believe that because you have been told that. But that did not come from within you. That did not come from your own truth vibration. So when you actually sit with it and you ask your soul to come forward and to show you truth, to show you your energy, vibration, your soul signature, the frequency that is you, that is eternal, and you measure that against this idea or concept or belief, is it true? You will know. You will know because you will feel the resonance. You will feel your own essence saying it doesn't resonate. It's not true. And so in that understanding, we can actually release it. So all of those beliefs that you have about yourself that you continually reinforce, I'll never be good at this. I can't do this. So I can't do it as good as them. All of that, is that even yours? Because your soul didn't tell you that. Your soul didn't say, Rosalie, you'll never be a good singer. You'll never be a good whatever, because that very much seems like a projection upon you. So what ways have we allowed thoughts, feelings, ideas, beliefs to be projected upon us. And we felt them, so we just assumed they were ours. We had a thought, we assumed it's ours. We had a feeling, we assumed it's ours. We created a belief system that we thought was ours, but was it? These are the questions that we really need to ask ourselves, because if we don't know who we are, then we just allow for others to tell us who we are.
I think we see and we witness this as well collectively. We witness this in groups. We witness this in society. We witness this on many different levels where we take these stories on as our truth, whether we're like feeling or experiencing them. And it's a very powerful moment when you start to awaken more to your own truth and you let go of any of the fear of stepping out, on your own to be held by the truth of your own light as opposed to somebody else's. Back to the triangle. So that if you take the triangle and you make that a 3D object like the tetrahedron, a four-sided pyramid, also all sides being equal, represents fire, and fire is a divine energy. Fire is a divine energy that regulates, that balances, that purifies, that transforms, that restores order.
And holds so much power.
Also knowing that fire can go both ways. It can provide all of those powerful transmutations and healings, but it can also destroy. So even when it destroys, it'll still have a divine outcome with it. But when it is used and understood for that power that is within it, the outcomes and the alchemy of that is transformational. So knowing that you have that within you, and this is the creator consciousness, because the spirit of humanity is also an eternal flame, right? So we're asking or sharing or speaking about or awakening within you that remembrance of the eternal flame that is within you, the eternal consciousness. And when you think about that part of you, that eternal flame of your soul or your spirit, what is the consciousness behind that? Those are the existential questions that you want to ask when you are creating, because that is the consciousness that wants to work through you. That is your authenticity, that is your expression, and that is your impact that you will leave on the world that could be felt for lifetimes to come. Now, when you ask yourself that question, what is the consciousness or creator consciousness that's behind this energy? And if it's not that, then that's something to explore. Then whose is this, or what is this? What do I need to let go of or look at how I am operating under this consciousness that isn't truly mine or that creator consciousness? What part of myself or subconscious has allowed this kind of organization or order to come into my life? Because it's not my true authenticity. So what is it that I'm holding on to that's shaping my reality, that is creating something that is inauthentic to my soul?
One of the most powerful realizations that I feel myself and Richard have come into awareness of as of late really connects to our beliefs and our stories around suffering. And this belief or this idea or this story that connects to, we must suffer to grow. We must suffer to, become better, or that we need some form of pain to occur to us in order for us to evolve and, battle or, make change into this world. Like there's like a lot of like stories around that. And
or you must do like the biggest like grid working projects in the world, just as an example, right?
so there's a lot around that. And I feel, some of that connects into like the Christ story. And one of the things that I was speaking about earlier was that if you get enough people believing something to be true, then they create it and make it true. And so when you look at organized, religion and Christianity, there is such a huge belief system around suffering, dying for your sins, having to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. So I speak of this because I feel that the story has been so deeply reinforced into our creational reality that everybody has lived this and created this and reinforced this into our experience. Hence why there is so much suffering. Because when you recognize that story and you see how it is impacting you and how it's impacting what we believe to be true, you can see how a lot of what we experience has been rooted in suffering. And in order to be a good person, right? In order to be a good person, you have to suffer. You have to give of yourself. You have to, only think of others. All of these stories that are connected to this, Christianity. And there's a lot of that in the star-seeded light worker community because we're still learning what it means to be a creator consciousness. We're understanding what it means to be the light, or what it means to be of service, or what it means to, help the planet and do all these things. But there's still a lot of undertones and overtones of this story. And we all created it because we all accepted it. Humanity has been told many stories. We've been told many things that, are they true? Are they 100% true? Because if they were 100% true, they would resonate with our soul consciousness and our soul vibration. And I do not believe that we need to suffer in order to heal or grow or become something. To me, that feels like an outdated pattern or story that is no longer serving what we are wanting to birth and create now. So I really would like to challenge you to look at that story around suffering and around your beliefs that life is hard, challenging, that there are people who want to take you down or don't want to see you succeed because, you have this great power and they want to, harm you because you're so powerful. All of these stories, all of these archetypes, all of these things, all of these stories, you're the main actor in these stories. You are holding some sort of role, and everyone in your life is playing roles that you've assigned to them. Now, if you're telling me your life is hard and you're suffering and everything's falling apart and everything's always in chaos or duality, then really look at what story arc you are playing and what story and belief system you are living in, because you are living in your own creation of that. And maybe it's not even a story that you consciously created. Maybe it was actually given to you by someone else, by religion, by your parents, by your ancestors. So if you're not thriving and succeeding right now, ask yourself, what role am I playing in my own narrative? And what stories and ideas are feeding into that creation? Because to be the conscious creator means that you get to choose what it is that you are creating and experiencing in every now moment.
Yeah, I wanted to also just add on that, like I awoken personally through the path of suffering. And, Buddhism talks about the path of suffering. Does it mean it's the only path? No, it doesn't. And now knowing what I know and what I've learned, like I'm done awakening or moving into deeper levels of conscious expansion through suffering, because there is other paths that can support you on the journey. So it's kind of like having a cheat code that when you understand like you are a creator and you're a creator of your own reality, you can create suffering if that's what you want. Or you could create grace and align to divine grace if that's what you want as well. Either of those are there for you, and you can create whatever it is that you want to create for your experience. But I know I'm done suffering. Like, I think we all reach our lives or a certain point in your life where it's like, wow, yeah, I don't want to suffer anymore. So if I created this path for me to come into this like realization, now what needs to shift or change within my life to support this new understanding that I actually don't have to suffer, that I can learn through love, that I can learn through joy, that I can experience, abundance and whatever it may be that you're searching for, because that all comes down to the direct reflection and connection to your inner self and your self-love and your self-compassion. So suffering is a byproduct of your inability to love yourself. It's a byproduct of an inability of wanting to look within and search for who you are. The path of grace would be that understanding like you are a vehicle for that divine creator consciousness that's working through you. So your highest self is opening doors for you when you align it through divine grace. What your job is to know through your experience that you have which doors to walk through and which ones not to. You're not really opening the doors, you're just choosing which ones you go through. When you trust, the ones that get closer to you are being guided to you by your highest self and grace. The ones that are getting farther from you are also being pushed away by your highest self and grace. So the issue and the suffering comes from when you start to reach for that one that is going off of your path instead of the one that's being brought to you through divine alignment. It's here for all of us. Many of us don't learn this. We're well on our journey, and we are into this resistance and this natural and the resistance into our path, and we don't let go. We attach, we expect, and we want to grasp that which is falling away. When you do that, that creates suffering. So through experience now, you realize there's a greater power that is infinite intelligence and has infinite wisdom. That actually in the divine mind, it doesn't know failure. Failure is a human thing. Like the divine mind does not know failure. It doesn't know a lot of these things that we may be experiencing. So how is it we open to that? How is it we open to completion and, this alignment that I'm speaking of through grace? And it's really about back to that level of consciousness we're speaking through. Is this a level of mind or egoic consciousness or thought that's working through me? Or am I aligning to the divine creator consciousness? And then there becomes a trust for your inner knowing, right? Your inner yesing, your knowing your yes and your no within your heart and within your being that's connected to your soul light, which is going to guide you through these pathways. This is a yes, this is a no. And all of a sudden now the struggle just starts to dissipate, and you realize that you've been supported this whole time. Just maybe you forgot about you. You forgot how to listen to mother. You forgot how to listen to source. Instead, you thought you actually had a higher plan than what source's plan was for you. That's where suffering comes in. Both paths will lead back to the same point eventually. But it's up to you. There's a Zen proverb about the journey up the mountain. There's many paths to the top of the mountain. So everyone is on this journey up the mountain. Do you want the direct route, Are you going to take 3-4 laps to go around the mountain? Are you going to go up and down, up and down? Are you going to take lifetimes to achieve that journey? And this is what I feel when you understand what divine grace does and you align to it. It's like you're starting to get the express route there. No matter what it is that's on that path, you know, when it's aligned through your highest self, you have to face it. This has been brought to you for a reason. So it's about showing up for your lessons, knowing it still isn't always going to be easy, but it's just perfect for you. And now you're able to show up fully for the experience. There's no avoidance, suppression, or disconnection from what you were doing within your life. You're able to be like your authenticness and embrace the moments that are unfolding in front of you without attachment, without expectation, just with full divine awareness on how beautiful this journey really is.
I was receiving so much beautiful imagery as you were speaking, Richard, about this journey and this path. I was seeing a couple of different doors, and I was seeing how every time we make a choice through our own beliefs and thoughts, we are choosing a door to walk through and a path that we take. And I was recognizing a lot of humans lining up for the door of suffering because it's what it is, a match to their thoughts and beliefs. They're not seeing grace because they don't believe it's an option, because they're only seeing what they've been taught and told. And so it takes us consciously bringing into the field and choosing grace, to choose a higher way, to choose another way, another path, to really enable our beautiful, brothers and sisters to see that we do not need to keep going through these cycles of suffering, these karmic patterns that we have been playing out. And if humanity really understood and saw that there was a path of grace, a path of unconditional love, then they would stop choosing that door of suffering, because nobody consciously wants to suffer. We actually are, programmed to try to avoid pain as much as possible. But we don't understand what we are creating, what we are choosing, what we are consenting to every time we walk through that door. We don't understand, or humanity isn't seeing that they are actually choosing suffering. And they're not understanding that every time they choose fear over love, they're again choosing the door of suffering. So it's just this pattern and this loop that we see that happens again and again. And, we do these in different ways. We, sometimes we're able to have grace for ourselves and to choose love and choose that more beautiful route, that scenic route up the mountain. But there are always parts of us that still believe that we are unworthy of grace or unworthy of love. And so we will choose that door of suffering in one area or one aspect, whether it's in your relationships or whatever it is. There is still uninitiated, unhealed parts of us that think, no, I can't be worthy of something, greater or more beautiful, because there is just that belief there. So how do we really bring ourselves into that greater awareness of what it is that we are choosing, whether we are conscious or unconscious of it?
Good idea. Everyone take a deep breath. I have this reflection that we can really make things complicated, or we can simplify everything. And when you start to simplify your life and you start to simplify the way you look and you see and you perceive things, you start to understand it on such a more profound level. Like, how many of us have actually come out of the deep understanding of gratitude for the simplest things within our lives, or for the people, for the relationships, for our experiences. I would say the majority of people that come to me in crisis, gratitude has fully left their life. Or there is a small amount of gratitude that they have for their experience that they're having there, because they continue to go through the suffering experience. So there's one of the quickest ways to shift our frequency is to go into gratitude, to actually see the things we have as opposed to the things we don't have, which is a perception or a reflection that can be chosen at any moment. You know, the simple gratitude or the understanding, like the body you're in right now, stop hating it. Like it's the one you chose. It's the one you chose for this earth experience and for this incarnation. So if it was good enough for your soul, why wouldn't it be good enough for your mind? Right?
It's a big one.
And these are the things that are uncomfortable. So we tend to avoid this acceptance or acknowledgement of self and that authenticity that we're speaking about. We're all made different. We're all made different, but there is such a beautiful thing that is here when you embrace it. So embrace it and awaken to the truth that is you. You are sacred. Each one of us are sacred. And find that within you. Make that your mantra. I am sacred. You know, I chose this body. I chose this experience, and embrace it. Know that you are the creator, a creator. And we can see this on the outer landscapes of the world and the collective consciousness, because when we are witnessing what we are experiencing, what level of, there's many different collective streams of consciousness. So that means there's people that are having a wide range of experiences on the planet. We can look at the spiritual communities, and you can look at how many different collective streams of consciousness people are experiencing within spiritual communities. Now you can see what reflection of self-love and compassion is reflected within those states, energetics, and communities. Right? So we are creating that energetic match, or we're aligning to the energetic match of that's within us usually, or a path that would have some of that. You know, we may be at times attracted to something, whereas where we're going, yeah, but the direct representation of your life and the experiences that are unfolding are directly related to the unhealed aspects of you that are calling out the universe, bringing in those energetic matches. So you go within and do the work.
Which is really fascinating, because those aspects that are unhealed are really just an illusion as well.
Yeah.
You know, because at the ultimate level, you are whole, you are healed, you are a divine perfection. And we can get so caught up in these cycles of needing to heal ourselves, needing to fix ourselves, needing to be better, needing to do all these things. And even that in itself is an act of, you know, I don't want to say self-hatred, but it's not self-love. Because much of it is coming from that place of I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I am not whole. I am never going to be perfect if I keep thinking I need to heal myself. I'm never going to achieve what I want to achieve if I'm constantly telling the universe that I need to fix and heal myself.
Yeah, I think it's a better way maybe to look at it is, so one, all of these parts just need to be acknowledged and accepted, whichever one resonates with you. So they go from the subconscious into the conscious, and it can like come together. Most of the time what we do is we go into conflict with like our shadow, and that's what creates the suffering. That's what creates the perpetual patterns and the loops. Now, that shadow is just really asking to be seen, and it's asking to be organized, to bring order to it so you can embody more of your light, right? So you can align more to grace. So the better you get at organizing your shadow or your subconscious or those parts of yourself that you've kind of turned away from, the more whole you're going to feel, and the more you're able to align to a higher energetic frequency and vibration, and the more of you that is able to be present within the moment. So with that, it's really a matter of just understanding and witnessing and welcoming back, where it starts to shift the energetics of this like fight and flight, and you open up to allowing your highest self to do the work for you, and you're just like the witness. And, there's a fun exercise where you can witness what's happening, and then you can step back to another part of you that's witnessing the witnesser. And then you can step back to another part of you that's witnessing the witnesser that's witnessing. It's true. And this is called, like, you start to expand your infinite awareness. And what you realize
Like a
is,
nesting doll.
yeah, what you do and what you realize as you're going through this, you're starting to create so much more consciousness space in the way that you're perceiving things.
Just to add on to that, it's like what you go looking for, you will find. So if you're looking for trauma, you will find trauma. I just saw this quote today that was like, if you are looking for a yellow car, you will find a yellow car.
Yeah.
If you are looking for an opportunity, you will for sure find an opportunity. So be mindful of what you are constantly searching for.
I can't remember where I heard this, but I was listening to someone speak on this, and they were saying, they explained it like, like you're saving up for money for a car. There's a certain vehicle you want, and you don't see any of these cars on the road. And then it's like, and then you get that car, you go and buy it. And then as soon as you pull out the parking lot, you see the same color car you just bought driving by you, right? And then you go to park at the mall and you see another same color car, another type of car. And now you start seeing that car everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And this is the way like our creator, like consciousness, what works. Like, what are you creating? Because whatever you're going to create, you're going to experience. And I mean, we made these little changes that, like, we were doing a lot of shielding. I removed one of the shields from here from the YouTube channel, which I got some emails about. And it's because I love all of you. That's why I did it. Because, when we're shielding to
keep out the dark
all the time, it's not always going to be in your highest benefit, because that's what you're focusing on. So
what you're calling in.
When you shield to hold in your light, or to amplify your light, or to be a vehicle for your consciousness, it's a complete different energetics. So this is like the level of creator consciousness. And I know a lot of people are going to actually take this one hard to digest, or there may be some beliefs that are being challenged with this, because people get stuck in the phase of just clearing all day, every day, and thinking there's something wrong with them all the time. And if we don't switch the beliefs, switch the reason why, the consciousness that's working behind you, which is asking you to do those things. Is it fear consciousness? Is it creator consciousness? Is it love consciousness?
Is it victim
Is it grace
consciousness?
consciousness? Like, yeah, is it victim? Like, what is the consciousness that is behind the actions? Because whatever that consciousness is what's going to bring the response back. And this is how we start to understand the universal laws and how all of these work. So if you're coming from an unhealed space doing an action, that energy that's being put out is going to come back. Maybe not immediately, but it's coming back in some form or shape, because that's what's being put out to the universe. And that's a challenging thing as we start to step into more of our sovereignty, more of our energetic understanding of self and being a creator. Now you're being held to these universal laws. So if you're not following the universal laws or you're breaking them, then you're getting these experiences back and you're not actually understanding why. But you're being held accountable for the level of consciousness that you're looking to step into. So with this, like, we've gone through monumental shifts personally, energetically, and within our communities now, because we are able to experience more love, more joy, more peace, more excitement, more wonder, more curiosity, more abundance, more everything that we need to accomplish what we are here to do, right? And this is that creator being that is awakening, that is ancient, that understands, wait, what are the rules I'm playing by? And what am I creating at this time?
And I think with that too, be mindful of energies that are speaking love, but actually promoting fear.
Yeah.
Because there is so much of that duality as well happening, because there is the what is being spoken, and then there is actually the energy that's behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And the mind won't be able to tell the difference, because the mind is like, they're talking about love, so it's sending out love in the brain. Love is good, right? But it's actually the soul, the heart, the spirit, that the heart intelligence, when that's online, that says, they're saying love, but I'm not feeling love. Something doesn't add up here.
Love, like love is a mentalized concept instead of a heart-based energy.
So this is such a huge lesson for so many of us, is that when we're so in our mental bodies and we're not processing from our heart brain, then we're allowing deception and lies to come in, facading as something that it's truly not. And so there is that level of awareness as well, when we actually recognize that what is being spoken is not truth. It is a facade, it is a mask, and so there will be lots of that as well, because there is lots of people speaking about love. Mm-hmm. Lots of people speaking about love and light and sovereignty and empowerment.
But the communities are in crisis.
But there's all this fear behind it.
Yeah.
This is trying to get you. This is trying to hijack you. Don't listen to that group. It's just like, it's very curious to come from that level of understanding. Be curious about those things. We don't need to judge it, but we can be curious, because that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we choose something different.
I mean, we've had like firsthand experience with people that they speak about love, but their actions are something different. And all of you have too. Maybe it's someone in your family, or it's been a relationship, and they say they love you and they talk about how you're their family, but they hurt you. Mm-hmm. And they repeatedly hurt you. So eventually you're going to say like, hey, well, is love supposed to continue to hurt me in this way? Because the love that you're speaking about is actually not the love that I'm speaking about. It's different. So with this, we're witnessing there is a level of spiritual narcissism and spiritual gaslighting within communities as well. So it's important for you to have your inner compass and not just to get caught up in the ideologies and beliefs, but you can see from your own personal experience, what is the experience that's happening to me while I'm in this community? Am I in crisis more time than not? Am I in deep healing crisis more time than not? Am I experiencing love? Am I experiencing joy? Am I being encouraged to be like the highest version of myself? Or am I being told to listen to another because they, know better, or they know the way? Every leader is about empowerment and about empowering you to be the best version of you, because that's what you will always be, or that's what you're always meant to be. And this is where we're seeing arising in what true leadership is at this time. It's not about holding anything over anyone, but it's about encouraging through our experiences and wisdom for each one of you to step out into all that you are.
Yeah, just looking at the comments, someone said it's a lack of authenticity. And you're exactly right, because if we don't truly know ourselves at the end of the day, and we don't truly know what that soul vibration feels like, then how are we to be authentic?
Yeah.
How do we show up in the world as who we truly are if we don't even know who that is?
Mm.
Then we have, again, conceptualized who we are. We've attached to a belief, an identity, a role, whatever that is, a construct, the ego. And that persona, that role is inauthentic because it's not the soul vibration. So when you are in alignment with your soul and spirit vibration, and you are communicating and expressing and connecting through that lens, then when you speak, it matches your voice because it is you. So we don't need any more people getting confused and lost and, disconnected from spirit through spiritual concepts, because
Yeah.
the idea of spirituality is to reconnect you back with your spirit. So do you see the paradox in that ideology?
My favorite thing is like, this is something like you can't attain, because like, what is spiritual? Well, you're spiritual, your soul, you're a celestial divine being. You have this beautiful earth body. So you're also like part of Mother Nature, part of Mother Earth. So you are the cosmos, the stars, the sun, you are divine. You're all of these things. So who is telling you that you're not, or why do you not believe that? That's a big thing, because really by knowing yourself, the more you're going to understand all of that and your connection to all of that. There's no one that holds a pedestal of that over you, that shows you that like sacredness that you really are. Now, there's a lot of people that are going through awakenings that need support in coming into the self-realization of who they are. And this is what I feel like is important with the leadership at this time, is how are we supporting each other in going through that process to come into self-realization? Because it's not about being dependent on, anyone who's saying they have the higher wisdom for the rest of your life. It's about you being an awakened, enlightened being. What are your goals in this life? What is it you want to achieve? Like, do you think like you're going to be an ascended master in this lifetime? Do you think you're going to be, a steward for Mother Earth? Like, what is it that you're here to do and be, and how through that leadership are you being encouraged on that path?
One of the greatest questions I have ever asked myself, and I'm going to share it with you all because I feel this is important. Because so often we're like, which door, Rosalie? Is it this door or that door? Decisions like, which one is going to help me? This one looks really shiny and beautiful, but is it really what I want? And what I would say is ask yourself this very simple question. Which choice brings you into greater alignment with your soul? Which choice brings you closer to your soul? And which choice brings you further away? If we can simplify it, because there's a lot of complex mentalization of understandings of us really trying to figure things out. It's like sometimes we are faced with a choice and it feels like a Rubik's Cube. It's like a puzzle and your brain's trying to figure it out. When really, in reality, you don't need to try to figure it out. You just need to ask yourself, which choice is going to bring me closer to my soul?
And if you don't know that, then align it through divine grace and see which one gets closer and which one gets farther,
Yeah, you can ask your your soul vibration, your truth spirit to come forward, and you can ask for it to guide you to feel and connect deeper with it so that you can know the difference, so that you can align yourself through divine will. Many of us have just not really had the opportunity to really feel the difference, but you will, because we will all be faced with this at some point on this journey, maybe many times, where you'll be given something that looks amazing. Like, whoa, this opportunity looks like $1 million, okay? But then there's going to be the other side that is saying, hey, this is actually the path that's going to bring you closer to your soul, which actually is the path of divine grace. But you'll be tested, because we all are going to be asked to choose our spirit in this lifetime, to choose that soul vibration and wisdom, because that is how we are initiated into this, journey up the mountain. And so your soul will continually test you to see, are you choosing spirit? Are you choosing your higher wisdom, your heart? Or are you making decisions that you think are good for you because you don't understand the difference? And so I really think that is such a huge message for so many of us right now, because eventually the choices become easy. Eventually someone walks through the door and tries to hand you $1 million, but your soul is saying, do not take that money. And you're going to trust that because you know the difference. You know what is in resonance, you know what is good for you, and you know what isn't in alignment for you. And it's not that money is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a reason that your soul is asking you to say no to that, because it's not your path, or it's not for you, or there's something that's going to harm you by accepting or consenting to that. Whatever it be, maybe there's strings attached, and now you're like under this, in this box, now that you have agreed to that. So when they say, like, don't sell your soul to the devil, like, this is like a very like interesting way to look at it, but it's true. It's like, how many times are we going to choose something that is not choosing our soul? Like, how many times are we going to, put ourselves through suffering because of the allure, or the it's wrapped up in its package to make it look like it's really, really amazing, but we can't see the actual like darkness and suffering that will come from that.
I gotta head out in a minute, so we're gonna wrap this up now. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this talk and you would like to hear more from Rosalie and I, join our Crystal Academy. That is $86.67 a month, and that means you get some direct insight from my personal conversations with the elders that we update weekly on. You also get part of our Temple of Hyros Gemos, which are our live weekly calls, plus over 450 classes from our library. We'd love to see more of you come in if you're feeling the resonance with us on that. And also, yes, the coupon code for the Clairvoyance Healers training and psychic development is HEALERS. I think there's 5 left. So the first 5 that come in will get that $111 discount off our HEALERS training certification program.
And don't forget, beloved, monthly Oracle reading sessions with Rosalie, because I have been just loving bringing these messages through. It is messages from spirit. It's not me, it's spirit communicating exactly what you need to hear, just like much of what we shared here today is not about me or Richard, but it is about what spirit wants us to know. And this is how we operate. And that is how we are able to really hold that authenticity, because when we speak, it's coming through us, for us, and not, we're not attaching to the information. So if you really feel in resonance to that level of support, those messages, what is needing to be shared, what you need to know to support you on your journey, that will really empower you to develop that greater connection with spirit as well, then, you know, our community is for you.
Also, like, subscribe, and if you enjoyed this, share this message. You know, this message is there to get out. So we can't do it by ourselves. We need your help and support as well. So we appreciate each one of you, and we hope you have the most beautiful day today.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We had so much fun today. And yeah, we'll be reading the comments. So if you're listening to this on the replay, please do leave a comment and we'll get back to you.
And you can, if you want to join the Crystal Academy, if you're ready to take that step, go into my bio on the settings and you will find the links in my link tree.
Okay, have a wonderful day, everyone.